felt, what you saw. And you see, here's what happens. Whatever our eyes take in, our ears hear, and our mind is able to perceive, it becomes a part of us. And I can visualize some places that I've been that are etched in my mind for good. And I can think about them and rejoice. I can think about them and smile. I can think about what I was feeling and what I saw and how it affected me. God wants us to fill our minds, our hearts, our lives with things that we treasure. Because you see, here's what happens. They become a part of us. They make up who we are. They make up our character. Our attitudes are greatly affected by them. And the way we treat other people. And besides that, what we have to share. When you think about the places that you've been, and you come home and you want to tell somebody, and I think about this often, and a few times, not very many, very few times if I've been somewhere by myself, and I'm standing here looking at this awesome, indescribable scene, and I don't have anybody to say to, look at that. Can you believe that? This is awesome. And you're by yourself? You know, I can tell you what happened. I feel like something just comes over me, covers me. I don't have nobody to say it to. Places you've been. Because you see, what makes the places you've been so memorable is what you felt while you were there. I mean, asphalt's asphalt wherever it is. Or trees are trees and sand is sand and beach is beach. But it's what you felt there. It's what you experienced there. It's what happened to you there. When I think about those places, I think about, for example, men who've been in the military. And you've been in the heat of terrible, fiery, bloody battle. You'll never forget it. And things happened that you treasure when you saw one man risk his life for another, or somebody risk his life for you, or you saw someone in need and you risk your life under fire to save somebody else. You'll never forget it. It's a part of you. Moments you treasure, good things that happen to you. I know what you're thinking. You say, what about the bad things? I'm coming to that. Because that is a part of our treasure. Then I think about periods of time in our life that we treasure. You think about before you got married and all the preparation and all the fun and all the parties and all the things. All of that was a part of getting ready for marriage. That was a time in your life that you treasure. And maybe those first days or first weeks or months or years or first children or whatever it might be. There are times in our life that we treasure what was going on. It may be in building your business. You look back and you treasure those times because you learned a lot. You had to sacrifice. You paid a price. You had to be disciplined to make it happen. And now God has blessed you and honored you for your faithfulness and loyalty and devotion, and that you tithed your income and God blessed you, and you have something to treasure. But let me ask you this. How many precious moments in prayer do you have to treasure? When I think about that, I think about times that have no equal. Moments, usually moments and minutes that have no equal when it comes to experiences in life. Of times with the Lord when He makes His voice so crystal clear and His instructions so very, very clear to understand. Moments that you cannot describe, moments you cannot give away, and moments you cannot duplicate because every one of them is brand new. What about those moments? Or you have moments in loving someone, moments in playing with your children. What about moments with God? How many of those do you have etched in your mind? How many of those do you ponder? How many of those do you bring back when you're going through some difficulty, hardship, or pain? We should build into our life those awesome treasures. They're treasures because you see, what you build into your life, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody could ever take away from a mother what she felt the first time she held that baby. Nobody could take away from a man what he felt when they placed on him the silver star for his valor. And probably most people who go to college and went to college and had a very difficult time, nobody could ever take away from them when they called out your name and you walked across the stage and got that diploma. And in the process of doing so, your eye caught your mother's face, her smile, her gleam, and her pride. Irreplaceable. Now you say, but what about the bad times? Are they treasures? Let me tell you how bad times become treasures. Because every pain, heartache, difficulty, trial, hardship, failure, whatever, doesn't make any difference what it is. You and I know that as His children, God allowed it. It may have been something that we would never want to repeat again. Maybe it's something that was our fault or something somebody else's fault. Painful, difficult, hard. You say, well, how does that become a treasure? Here's the way it becomes a treasure. It becomes a treasure because you look back and realize God in His love sustained you, kept you, held you, and loved you right through it. Forgave you over and over again. You treasure it because you learned an awesome lesson that has profited you down through the years. You treasure it because you know that it equipped you to be sensitive to other people, to understand their heartaches and their trials and their burdens. You treasure it because you know that it did something to your very character and your integrity by going through that. And while you wouldn't want to do it again, you wouldn't take anything for what you learned, because you realize that you have become more valuable to God in His kingdom as a result of what you've been through, your heartaches and your trials and your sorrows and your tears and your losses and your wins. He takes even the tough things. They can become treasures to us if we will respond correctly and recognize that even bitter things are sometimes the gift of God, because He loves us enough not to let us just go along in life,